There's nothing like a good old date night, grab a whole bowl of popcorn, and turn on the old Netflix machine to a nice romance movie. In this case, I'm thinking of Ending Things. But what the hell did we just watch? I thought she meant by I'm thinking of ending things, she meant the relationship. Now I'm watching an interpretive dance and a goddamn musical. What is this movie? Well, don't worry, because today we are going to break down all of the unanswered questions you have, discuss how it ties in with the book of the same name, and try to explain this latest Netflix movie, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, in the easiest way possible. Hello everyone, Jared here, and today we are talking about the latest Netflix movie from director and writer Charlie Kaufman, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Yeah, this was one heck of a movie. Like, where do I even begin? Like, this is a wild, out there, obscure. There's an interpretive dance scene in this movie. Well, don't worry though, because I'm sure you're feeling the same way I am after seeing this movie. We are going to break down everything in this movie, from the ending, the themes and metaphors dropped in here, and what exactly Kaufman was going for here. So sit back and relax as we explain this latest Netflix movie, I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
This is a story about a girl named Lucky.
Hello? Who's that? Who's that?
Maybe this is how it was always going to end.
So it is safe to say if you are watching this video, then you've watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things, or potentially couldn't make it through the first 20-minute conversation in a car and just want to know what the heck this movie is about. If not, here's a quick refresher.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things opens on a voiceover from our main character, Lucy, played by Jessie Buckley, as she is explaining things about life and her newer relationship with her boyfriend, Jake, played by Jesse Plemons, and how she is going to visit his parents for the first time. However, she is thinking of ending things. Haven't we all been there before? Anyway, Lucy is waiting for Jake outside, with a slight snowfall beginning, but an ominous figure is spying on her from the apartment window above. Jake shows up, and the two embark on their way to the parents' house for dinner. This is a long scene, and I mean long, as it's only Lucy and Jake discussing movies, musicals, theories of life, work, studies, blah blah blah. You know, things couples are supposed to talk about, but Lucy seems distant, again getting in her mind about whether or not she actually likes Jake. But something is off, because it's almost like Jake can read her mind. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it does seem a bit strange. The conversations and car ride continues, but randomly intercuts scenes of a janitor. Did the editor mix up the movies in the editing bay? Like, this is weird. Anyway, the two arrive at Jake's parents' home, only for the snow to continue to come down even harder, and Jake continues to get stranger and stranger, talking about dead pigs from his childhood, awkwardly hiding things in the home, such as what is in the basement, and his parents seem to take on an unusually long time to come downstairs. Even though they knew that they were coming for dinner, his parents finally greet them, calling Lucy Louisa, which, sure, Lucy could be short for Louisa. Things get even weirder as scenes seemingly transition without any sort of cohesive manner, moving directly to dinner scene where Lucy mentions how she met Jake, how she is an artist, showing the parents some of her work, all while Jake is being silent and giving his eccentric parents odd looks about the things they reveal about him. Then it flashes over to that goddamn janitor again, watching some romantic comedy movie called Order Up while eating a sandwich. I really think here that the editor intercut the wrong footage, because none of this makes sense, and it's the second time. Lucy mentions that the snow is getting worse and they need to get going because she has work the next day, but Jake and his parents dismiss her claims. Now, things get really weird, where the dog just seems to vanish out of nowhere. There is a picture of Lucy on the wall, but Jake claims that it's actually him, and the parents seem to age and have different clothing.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Seriously, things continue to get even more bizarre, with the parents aging a couple more times to the point that they essentially die. Lucy gets a mysterious phone call, looks around Jake's childhood bedroom, and finally discovers what is in the basement this whole time. I mean, basically it's a normal everyday basement with a washer and dryer, but then a room full of landscape paintings. Why are these locked away in the basement? Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Bumpy from Bump in the Night burst through the door and put on a show for us. You know, that mid-90s Saturday morning cartoon where Mr. Bumpy lives under the bed with all of his other obscure friends, and they get into all sorts of, antics in the middle of the night. Man, I'm getting way off topic here. Finally, the movie moves on, with Jake putting the chains on the car, and the two head back home for the night. The end. I'm just f***ing with you. Now it's an awkward car ride home, only for Jake to need ice cream. He needs ice cream. I guess what Jake wants, Jake gets, as they make a stop at a secluded ice cream shop in literally the middle of nowhere, which feels absolutely normal now, because this movie is honestly just surreal nonsense at this point. However, Jake begins to act like a scared little boy when the two young women come to the window to ask for their order. Instead, Lucy is forced to order the ice cream while having a chat with the other employee, whom Lucy is convinced she knows, mentioning something about time and moving forward through it. This then leads them on a detour to Jake's old high school to show Lucy around, once again ignoring the fact that she needs to get home for work the next day.
Okay, as you can see, I'm thinking of ending things has gotten interesting. I mean, we're an hour and 30 minutes into this movie, and I haven't a damn clue what's going on. Maybe, just maybe, this last 20 to 30 minutes will finally answer some of the questions we have. So Jake is being a big old baby about getting sticky cup holders in his vehicle, so he turns off to show Lucy, or I guess Lucia, or I guess Amy, honestly, who knows anymore, I don't know what her name is, to show his girlfriend his old high school, and also to find a dumpster to dispose of the ice cream. He disposes of the ice cream, and as the two argue a little bit, they are interrupted by what appears to be an old man peeking through a hole in the wall. Potentially a glory hole. Now, a glory hole is a hole that is cut in the bathroom stall and people use it for we're gonna leave that bit out for your imagination. Anyways, Jake thinks that someone is spying on them and takes off into the storm to give them a piece of his mind. Poof! And he's gone. While Lucy sits there waiting and waiting and waiting, she decides to wander inside as well to see if Jake is inside of the school. But before making her way inside of the school, she notices a huge dumpster full of ice cream cups, like a lot of ice cream cups. But at this point in the movie, does anything seem normal? I mean, everything is completely weird as Lucy makes her way inside of the school. Unable to find Jake, she wanders into a janitor asking if he had seen Jake, but also breaking down in front of him, discussing what she had been through and her mindset at the time. But now we can conclude that the janitor we have been seeing cut into this film was absolutely a part of this movie. It wasn't the wrong footage being cut in, so we need to formally apologize to the editor. Dear editor, I, along with everyone else whom has watched this movie, would like to formally apologize. It's not your fault, none of this movie makes any goddamn sense. Sincerely, literally, everyone who watched this movie. The janitor tries to console Lucy, stating it is safe in the school and she will be safe until she finds Jake. Lucy then gives the janitor a hug, only to continue looking for Jake. Wandering aimlessly through the school, Jake appears out of a classroom. Finally we can go home so Lucy can get some sleep before work tomorrow. Nope, just kidding, as the movie takes maybe the most surreal turn yet and turns into a full-on interpretive dance scene for the next 6 minutes, which is beautiful, touching, emotional, and bonkers. Are we watching La La Land right now? Like, what is going on here? From the looks of it, this is supposed to be the relationship of Lucy and Jake, but again, an evil janitor seems to interject within the dance. Who is this janitor man? The scene concludes with what appears to be Jake being stabbed by the janitor. Is this a horror movie and the janitor was the killer the whole time? We get back to what we think is reality. I honestly don't know anymore. I have no idea what's going on as we see the janitor sitting in his truck, almost having a war PTSD flashbacks of his parents or younger years, and then he gets butt naked. No, really, look. I'm thinking of ending things continues down this goddamn what the path as the naked janitor now follows an animated pig, yeah, you heard me, back into the school like it's some sort of deity, claiming that the janitor is a pig. Someone has to be a pig. Then smash cut over to Jake, but like an older version of him, receiving what appears to be an award, singing a song from his favorite musical, Oklahoma, getting the approval of everyone he has ever known, from Lucy to the ice cream girls and his parents, all wearing old-timey stage makeup. Yeah, this seems really bizarre, but don't worry, this last scene will clear up everything as they all give Jake a standing ovation. The end. Okay, that's the end of the movie. Thank you everyone for watching.
That's all, folks.
No, that's the ending of the movie, but what the hell was that bizarre last 20 to 30 minutes? An interpretive dance, a literal cartoon pig, and a musical number? What does this all mean? Well, don't worry, we have a couple different interpretations of what Kaufman was going for here and how it ties into the book. Alright, first up is an interpretation that ties in with that surreal interpretive dance at the end, Lucy, Jake, and the janitor, hell, even Jake's parents. So if we remember from the film, there are a lot of weird intercutting and things going on that seem odd and almost sporadic. The parents aging to and from the janitor, a dog appearing only to disappear. The reason so is Jake is essentially remembering all of these different times from his life when he was dating different women, having them visit his parents, and blah blah blah. All of this are Jake's memories. Think about it. This explains why Jake calls his girlfriend several different names throughout the film: Lucy, Louisa, Lucia, and Ames or Amy, each of which having different occupations as well: painter, waitress, student, poet, physicist, and the different ways each of them met: at trivia night, at a restaurant, an aggressive meeting at a bar, and so on and so on. So essentially all of I'm thinking of ending things is from the point of view of Jake's memories. But what about the janitor character, and how does he play into all of this? Well, Jake is the janitor. Now let's think about this one because it can be a bit jarring. The janitor works at the school, also seeing kids, loves romantic comedies, and also stops to watch the musicals of the kids when they perform, which explains those random tangents Jake goes on while talking about kids performing or loving musicals or seeing them working at the grocery store years later. Also, when Jake is talking, it sometimes will cut in footage of the janitor, implying that the two of them have some sort of connection. Also, the janitor lives in the same home as his parents do. He brings a thermos to work, and there was a drawer at the beginning when they first got to the parents' home of a drawer full of thermoses, and the washer in the basement has several of his work shirts in it. So all of this is the janitor, aka Jake, reliving his memories or thinking back on the past from the past relationships, his parents, and the choices he made. Pretty crazy, right? Jake was the janitor and the janitor was Jake this whole time. He's an old man loving rom-coms and loving turkey sandwiches. I mean, it's a wonderful movie, right? Well, honestly, it doesn't seem like it answers a lot of questions that I still have. So let's go into the second interpretation that very much kind of ties in with some material that is listed in the book. So let's just get into this one. Lucy is Jake. We can't waste any time here, peoples. Essentially, Jake is a crazy person with this other personality, or I guess multiple personalities, living in his mind. Imagine Fight Club and 2016 Split exploding together, and that's where we get I'm thinking of ending things. Now, the evidence to go back on this is spread all throughout the movie. For example, when Lucy notices the picture of herself, but Jake claims that it is him, and the name of Lucy continues to change, it's because it doesn't matter what her name is, it's a split personality. There are also other signs littered all throughout the home, such as the landscape paintings in the basement. Jake mentions he used to enjoy painting, while Lucy mentions that she is a painter focusing on landscapes. If we move up to Jake's room, almost everything the two of them talked about on the car ride there are attributes of Lucy. A physics book, other chemistry books, a Beautiful Mind DVD, which features a man who loses his mind, a William Wordsworth book, which features several poems with the name Lucy, and several DVDs with ominous names hinting at Jake's mental state. And the Boondog poem talks about someone being lonely, in this case Jake, therefore making up these other personalities. Even the girl at the ice cream shop is part of Jake's imaginary personality, because when he hands the money over to her, they both have the same rash on their hands. So Lucy is Jake and Jake is the older janitor. But what about the obscure dance scene? Well, it can be chalked up as a literal dance of his personalities, with the janitor personality, which in this case is the embodiment of gaslighting and toxic masculinity prevailing, and him going down the path of the lonely old dying pig, because the imaginary pig literally says that. The reason so he follows that lonely path is because he honestly is a shitty person. always claiming he is the good person, just needing a woman because that's what he deserves, which can be seen via the last Oklahoma song that is sung by Jake himself. But instead, he is a gaslighting incel and alleged cuck. I mean, I can't fully prove that last one, so stay tuned. But this personality is very much seen in his father's behavior throughout the film, shooting down things such as painting and being overly sexual towards Lucy, but also the way that Jake talks to Lucy is very condescending and gaslights her into thinking certain ideas. Jake even mentions the novel Ice by Anna Kavan in passing, which features a male lead feverishly pursuing a young woman. Also, the radio at the beginning mentions the Bible verse Isaiah 1:18, which is, "Sins be as scarlet, as they as white as snow, though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool," tying into the snowstorm, the red logo of Tulsi Town, and the wool of the sheep. There are also those weird feelings towards the two blonde ice cream girls and the other girls roaming the hallways, implying that maybe, just maybe, there was some sort of sexual misconduct or abuse Jake committed in his past. All of this leads us to the ultimate fate of Jake, aka the janitor, at the end of the film. Sure, it's heavy-handedly served to us via a literal rotting pig, but if we dive into the book, one of the last lines is the title of the book, "I'm Thinking of Ending Things," and Lucy stabs herself in the neck with a clothes hanger. I guess we don't specifically see the death of Jake, aka the janitor, on screen, but we can assume the years of torment have gotten to him, and him walking into the final musical number is him singing his way into the afterlife. Also, mentions of David Foster Wallace are jammed into the end here, which he actually committed suicide after fighting depression, so we can assume the same outcome here, aka the janitor man is dead as hell. The end. Or maybe this movie is a straight up horror slasher film and the janitor is the retired Michael Myers featuring the same navy jumpsuit, and he killed Lucy, his parents, the ice cream girls, and all of these other people, and this is him living out his final days thinking back on the immoral things that he did in his earlier slasher murdering days. I mean, either or. So that is it. Netflix's I'm Thinking of Ending Things broken down for you guys. Explain the ending from all of the obscure nonsense from the interpretive dance, the musical, and the animated pig in this movie. Wow, this one was a trip, to say the least. What did you guys think of that ending? Did you guys interpret it a different way? Are you very much there with me as well? Or have you read the book and see how this doesn't have any effect on what the hell just happened? I want to know, because my god, this is an interesting movie. I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. Again, these ending explained poorly videos take a hella long time, so please god, just click the like button and comment down below. Stay tuned for all of my other content by following my social media, like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and man, oh man, this is a movie that is going to stick with me for a very long time.